I think we are live, Monica. We can begin.
Okay, sir. So we can start the session.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Hello and welcome, aspiring minds. Today we have a special guest who is here to guide us through the intricacies of conquering common admission test, a gateway to countless opportunities. Get ready to absorb valuable insights from our esteemed speaker who is well versed in the art of CAT strategy. So, without any delay, let's extend a warm welcome to our CAT expert, Mr. Dev Datta Guha, and begin this enlightening session. So, Mr. Devdatta Guha is currently pursuing a postgraduate diploma in management, specializing in supply and chain operations at SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai. With over 2.5 years of experience at CIPLA as a deputy manager, he worked on various life-saving medications such as Remdesivir and Mirabackground, and utilized software such as Minitab, DynoChem, Mix IT, and Design Expert for data modeling and analysis while working in the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you.
So,
It's a pleasure to be here.
ye- yes, sir. So before we start the entire session, I'm sure that most of the students here still are confused about what are the different examinations for getting into MBA. Also, could you kindly explain what exactly is CAT exam, all about how it is different from other exams?
So, there are multiple exams which cater to the MBA crowd in India. So, the main one is definitely CAT, but there is also ZAT, which is for the XLRI Jamshedpur admissions and other colleges like XIMB and so on. And there is other exams like SNAP and NMAT as well. SNAP is for Symbiosis and NMAT is for Narsi Monji. There are other state level exams as well, like Maharashtra CET and so on. But lately, the main exams have all started to club inside CAT itself. Like, for example, IIFT had its own exam, but they have started to take admits from the CAT itself. So yeah, CAT has become more and more important in the present times. How does CAT differ from the other MBA exams? I would say one main thing is the DILR section. The DILR section is pretty challenging, and this is only CAT has this kind of a difficulty when it comes to data interpretation and logical reasoning section. So the kind of difficulty that this section has is pretty high compared to other MBA exams. So that is one thing which makes it challenging. And there are sectional cutoffs in CAT, and there are sectional time limits in CAT. So if you are exceptionally good in one section and exceptionally poor in another section, then you will not get through. You need to be equally good in all the sections. So that is what makes CAT different from the other exams. I would say.
Okay, sir. So my next question is, with so many types of MBA being heard about, what would be your MBA being heard? What would be your suggestion? Is general MBA better or specialized one after clearing a CAT?
So it depends on your profile and background. So if say you have a background in say psychology, and you might be more inclined to an MBA specialization, preferably an HR specialization, where I can see most of them going. If you have say a very commerce rich background, you might be interested to specialize in finance. But the most of the MBA colleges in India, they offer general MBA only. Very few are offering specialized MBA. For example, Narsi Monji is one college which can offer you MBA in say pharmaceutical background, so MBA in pharmaceutical field. But these MBAs are very they might restrict your scope. You want to have a degree where you can move around, right? So tomorrow, if you want to go from a pharma to an FMCG to say a tech company, your MBA should allow that, I feel. So I would vouch for a general MBA at the initial stage of the career, because most of the people are pretty young when they do an MBA, and they don't have much of a direction. So you can enter an MBA and have a direction. For me, I had an operational type of experience where I was managing the day-to-day operational activities at Cipla. So for me, specializing in operations made sense, but it will not make sense for many people. Many people will not have such kind of a rich work experience. So making having a general MBA makes a lot of sense in that way. And anyway, in the second year of MBA, you will be specializing. So you will have some flavor of specialization in your CV anyway. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay. So we always have heard that IMS is are the one of the top colleges for MBA. Which other colleges do you think serve best of its purpose, especially for general MBA and pharmaceutical management?
So as you can see, IIMs are definitely the ABC Lucknow. They're the gold standard. But lately, many colleges have come up, and there are also many non-IIMs which are really good. The non-IIMs, if we talk about, there can be two classifications. One can be the government colleges which are non-IIMs. Another one can be the private colleges which are again non-IIMs. So among the government colleges, you have some really good names. For example, you have FMS Delhi, you have Jamnalal Bajaj in Bombay itself, you have your IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi. They have their own MBA programs, which are government MBA programs, and they're really good. You have ISC Bangalore MBA program, which is really good. These are the non IIM but government colleges. Then there can be non IIMs and private colleges as well. So the top names that come to my mind are definitely XLI Jamshedpur, SPJN, Institute of Management Research, and MDI Gurgaon. They are the gold standard when it comes to when it comes to private MBA college in India. They are really good. They have been doing good since a long time now. They are at par with the top IIMs, you can say. The career trajectory of these alumni are very similar to the ones from the top IIMs. So yeah, I mean, there are many opportunities, I would say.
Sir, can you please tell us about your experience about MBA, that whole journey, how the things went for you?
So I'm currently in the in mid of an MBA. So I would say that the journey has been enriching. You get a perspective that you did not have. So I come from a background from an engineering background. So a very math heavy, a very type of number crunching kind of guy I am. But after I came here, I became more of a holistic person. So in MBA, you will learn everything. You will learn philosophy, you will learn psychology, you will learn HR, you will learn everything. And these things are very essential. You can't be like a mathematical genius and run a company. You need to understand people. You need to have people skills. You need to know how to work in groups. You cannot be an introvert and think like I'll do my own work, let that person do their work. That's not how a company works.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's what you learn in an MBA. You know how to lead teams, how to work in a group and create a change. Because a big project, if you have to deliver, you can't do it yourself alone. You need people. You need people to trust you, and not always you will have power over them. So you need to influence people without power. That is one thing that MBA will teach you. I see.
Basically, teamwork. Teamwork is really very important.
It is very important.
So, while we are discussing on CAT, we would like to know it right from the crooks. So, could you shed light on the paper pattern of CAT, the best way to prepare ourselves, the resources, the target percentile we should aim to achieve, how to get the best MBA colleges?
So the paper pattern has been evolving, but you can still say that the English, so the VARC section is having 24 questions, followed by the DILR, the logical reasoning section, and then the comes the quant section. So the total of 66 questions, I think it is 24, 20, and 22. That's how the questions are distributed: 24, 20, 22, 66. That is the total number of questions that you'll be getting. You'll be getting 40 minutes for each section. So that is going to be a 2 hours paper, 120 minutes, 40 into 3. It's a 2 hour paper. and you have to have you have a sectional time limit of 40 minutes. It's not like you can if you don't know if you don't know English and you say that I'll not attempt that section at all, I'll attempt the other two sections very well. That's not how it's going to work. After, like the first section you will have 40 minutes, then it will go to the next section, then it will go to the next section. You cannot skip sections, you have to excel at each section. That's what makes if you do well in CAD, you are an all-rounder because you have done individually well in every section as well, and overall well as well. So you are an all-rounder in that sense. So that's how the pattern of CAT is. And if you talk about what is the target percentile, if it again depends because the admission will happen on a composite score, not on the CAT percentile. So your 10th ka score, 12th ka score, everything will be taken and it will be combined into a composite score. Your work experience, if you have any, and then that score will be used for admission criteria. But still, if you want a ballpark figure, a decent college anywhere above 95 percentile would get you a decent college. If you want a top tier like IIM or like say an like a SPJM or an XLRI type of college, you need to get 98, 99 percentile and above. Only then you can expect calls from these colleges. And I think that's pretty much it for this one. I'll discuss the preparation strategies later on when I present.
Okay. So, few students usually start studying CAT during the last year of the degree and some after their degrees. So, however, what is the right time to start? How many months back should we start off with it?
So it is advisable to have a preparation um with some work experience. It will actually help you in your journey. So I would suggest that you give CAT after like having 1 year of experience after college. Should get some type of work experience in some industry because it actually adds up to your CV and it makes the admission process easier for you. Okay, for a fresher to get into an IIM, it can be really challenging because there is a there are marks for work experience. If you're going to lose out on those marks, it is going to take you like a very high CAT percentile to get in. Like you might need a 99.9 percentile to get into an IIM Indore or something if you are a fresher. Okay, so that will be really challenging for you. So it is advisable to get some type of work experience after college. Obviously, you should start your preparation from college days, but you should take the first admission process seriously when you have some I feel you will understand the MBA better. You will appreciate it better, is what I feel.
Okay. So recently we have been seeing lack of students moving to abroad just to pursue MBA. So we were just curious to learn that whether pursuing MBA is better in abroad compared to India, or what would you suggest?
So, if you're planning to pursue an MBA abroad, firstly you have to look at the finances because it's very expensive to pursue this abroad. Uh, a friend of mine went to Harvard Business School. He's spending over a crore rupees on this one. So you have to be coming from an affluent family to take that kind of a decision, first of all. And these people who go abroad for MBA are less in number. So I would say in India the MBA is well paying and it is well rewarding in terms of experience and in terms of monetary benefits. So I don't think there should be any need for going abroad to pursue an MBA, unless and until you want an international exposure and that sorts. That's obviously a personal preference, but I don't think we lack anywhere. Our business schools are well ranked within the top 30 40 in the world, and they are well capable of competing with the Ivy League business schools as well, I feel.
Okay. So there's a lot of buzz always going on around masters in management, masters in international business management. Can you please let us know how it is different from MBA and what are the prospects for these different form of MBAs?
So the masters in management and so on, they are in India also. These degrees are available but they actually came from European countries. Like for example, in France and so on, they have masters in management where they have a 1 year degree. In US also they have this thing. It came from that concept. Nowadays in India also they are starting these kind of programs. So they are not very different from the traditional MBA, but sometimes that 1 year MBA kind of thing can set you back. Like it can be a setback for you because some companies they want a 2 year MBA during the recruitment process. So if it's a reputed one, you can go for it. Consider its outcomes. You should know how well the students are getting placed in that particular institute because an MBA is a financial decision at the end of the day because it takes a huge amount of money to pursue an MBA in India and as well as abroad, like, with a few exceptions. Okay, so I would say that yeah, they are there. For example, Masters in Management is also there in I think ISC Bangalore, and your MDI Gurgaon and MDI Gurgaon has its own international business thing as well, where they send you 1 year abroad, and you are there for 1 year abroad with some other college, and you come back and get a degree in India. So these opportunities are there in India. You can get the international exposure uh, staying in India with the College of India, and you don't have to go abroad for it. Even SPJAN has its own global fast track and international exchange programs where you can experience the diversity abroad. So it's we have that opportunity in India itself.
Yes, there are a lot of opportunities. So this might be a question that you have came across a lot. However, can you share the best way to plan for daily CAT preparation and last minute tips?
So I think the CAT is just nearby. The daily preparation would be for the next batch who are preparing for CAT, not this one. So the uh, so basically you need to plan your day, and you need to see that you need to set targets for yourself. Like set small targets for yourself. That okay, if I'm starting, for example, a particular arithmetic topic in quants, then I need to finish it, and I need to probably write a mock test on this topic. So and these small targets, when you achieve, you will be far ahead of the curve, and you will not even realize. And finally, when you will write a mock test in, let's say, September or so, then you'll feel the difference, okay, in the performance. So I would suggest that you need to set small targets and achieve them consistently. That's what is required on a daily basis. Okay, and when it comes to your tips for cat, I would say that at this point the cat is just around the corner and you can't do much. But I would say that keep be in a mode where you keep solving problems. Like you can write more mock tests. Don't take the scores very seriously at this point, but keep writing them because you need to be in a mode of solving problems consistently, because you are going to enter the examination season. You will have CAT, then XAT, you will have SNAP, you will have NMAT. So you'll be writing a lot of these exams. So you better be in a zone where you write exams every day. That's what I would suggest.
Are previous year's question papers helpful?
Sure, sure. Obviously, especially for LRDI section, they are gold. They are the gold standard of questions. You will not get any better questions than that. So they are the most important when it comes to especially DILR and even quants.
Okay. So, sir, we can start with the presentation if you're ready.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah. So so let me just proceed with the presentation. There's a little bit about me. I had cracked CAT and had a few offers from few prestigious colleges, and I'm passionate about photography and so on. Okay, nothing much here. So we need to just focus on why students don't succeed in CAT usually. Okay, so what's wrong with that? So people tend to binge too much content. There is a lot of content available in YouTube and so on. It's okay to watch, but you need to practice more. So I would suggest you should write at least as many sectional tests as possible and at least 25 full length tests. Okay. The third point in this slide is pretty important. So let me explain to you what it means. Okay. The third point is like this is an experiment which was done by a scientist where like there were two groups, group A and group B. Both of these groups of students they studied a topic. One group only studied, the other group only practiced. What it came like what the outcome was on an exam day, the group which practiced and only practiced did much better than the group which only studied it. Okay, so it actually makes a difference when you practice. Okay, so you have to consistently practice. You can't just watch YouTube videos on how to prepare for cat, or you cannot just study books. You need to practice. Okay, so I have some suggestions when it comes to the VARC section. So many students are struggling to read the RCs, the reading comprehensions, which are pretty lengthy at times, and they don't know what to do. Okay, so now let me tell you, more practice doesn't always mean improvement. If you are doing the wrong thing again and again, you need to do the right thing again and again. Only then you will see the improvement. So I learned this from a resource called GregMat. This I'm not endorsing it or something, but I really used it myself and it worked out fantastically for me. So you can practice with them. This is a third party website. Okay. So I'll just give you a glimpse of how you need to read. Okay. I'll just give you a short glimpse. So there is an RC right here, and I took it from a book called the GRE Big Book, and there is this is like only a small portion of the RC. So it says the transplantation of organs from one individual to another normally improves two problems, one two. Now, which one do you think is the main uh, that one word that should like light a bulb in your mind in this? The transplantation of organs from one individual to another normally improves two problems. So there is that one magic word here. Can you catch it, Monica?
I will try.
Yeah, yeah. Take your 2 minutes, no problem.
Okay, so thank you. Organs transplantation.
You can try. Give it a try. Any guess?
I have to identify one thing in both
Yeah,
of
one
them.
word which can actually make a lot of sense here. Like any one magic word here.
Antigens of both individuals are nearly identical, and donor specific lymphocytes, I think so. That,
No, no. So I'll help you here. So
okay.
that is the catch. Never get into the details too much. The magic word here is actually normally. So what
Not
will happen is that, like for example, if I tell you that normally I like to drink tea, then what is coming next? But today I will like to drink coffee, right? So whenever they say normally or usually, whatever usually happens in an RC when it's starting, whatever is coming next is going to be completely opposite. I'll show you that. So this is the entire passage. So see, normally this is happening. Normally these 2 points happen. But however, we have found that among the strains, the normal rules are not obeyed, and something totally different is happening. So the structure of that reading comprehension is more important than the content. You need to know how this reading comprehension is structured. So usually, what will happen is that the author will give you what normally happens. Then he will use a hammer word called however. I call this a hammer like because it is going to flip everything. After this, the author will go completely opposite of what he is using. Okay, so he will say that, but usually this is not in this case, and our hypothesis are this and that. So this is how you have to actually read a reading comprehension. Like you have to. look at the magic words, and you have to use them very carefully. So how I would read in like 2 minutes this paragraph is that I would just skim this one. I would look at normally these two problems, I would say, however, this is not happening, and I will read some part of this. And there again, what is the author giving his hypothesis on the new issue? I would just skim through it swiftly, and I would go to the options. When I go to the options, I can always come back to this passage. I don't have to sit with this passage 5 minutes and understand everything, because I might not even retain what I just read, because some of this is pretty dense. And you are from a maybe a pharmaceutical background, so you can read this. But say someone is from an arts background, they don't know what they're just reading, because this
Yes.
is this is like biology, right?
Yes. Yes.
So don't get too much into the details or the content of the passage. Have an overview. That's all. So how to tackle quant section for non-engineers? I would say for an engineer it should be pretty straightforward. I would say, because uh, even if not straightforward, you can still brush up your concepts and do it on your own. But for a non-engineer, I would say it will take some time. You can watch a lot of quant videos on YouTube by Rodha. Brush up on your calculation skills. Play on your strengths. Like you can see that you don't have to do the entire paper. Even at 10, if there are 20 questions, I mean, and if you can do 10 to 12 of them correctly, you are far ahead of the curve. You are 99 percentile already. Okay, you don't do have to do the entire paper. You have to do the 50% of the paper. Half of the paper is what you have to do. That is good enough. So if you can't do one topic, there are other questions which can offset that. So play on your strengths. Okay, is what I would say. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
You're audible. Yes, sir. You're
Okay.
audible.
And then comes the most dreaded part of the CAT preparation, which is the LRDI part, where everybody is fearing this part. I would say that you need to actually you need to practice all the CAT questions twice at least, the last 5 6 years. You need to practice DILR from at least two CAT coaching institutes, at least one or two. Try to get the career launcher or some other institute handbook and practice that, because they have a variety of questions in that. There is also this Nishit case in our book of DILR. This is decent, but I would still recommend that you practice from an institute level book, like a career launcher or a time ka book, because they have a variety of questions. Okay, I would give you a very small tip about the interview, because there is an interview which will be happening in at every college after you crack the CAT. So very brief thing, that since many of you are from the pharmaceutical background, the interviewer at the MBA college might not be able to relate with your background. So try to learn some other topics like digital marketing, stock market, or software as a service, and so on, and keep it on your CV. Because if the person cannot relate with you na, in an interview, he will ask you random questions, random GK general knowledge questions, and then the direction of that interview will go anywhere. He can ask you anything. Like one of the interviews, I was asked who was the CM of, say, Arunachal Pradesh or something. Now you might not know that answer. Okay, and it will that interview will go out of your control. So better have some of these topics in your CV, so that even they know about it, you know about it, so you can talk about it. Otherwise it will go haywire, I feel. So that is called the bait, the hook. You have to give the interviewer something to talk about. That is the hook. Is that clear? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. So moving ahead, uh, so you should know the MBA colleges that are there in that are actually present. So there are many of these colleges here. You could say the IM ABCs of the world. ISB, I would not say, it is through GMAT. So uh, these are the CTCs that are present in the that are presently being given in these universities. There is FMS, there is SPJMR, there is IM Lucknow, Kozhikode, and so on, Indore, and so on. So you should have a fair bit of idea that which college is having what type of an admission procedure. So SPJN has a very different admission procedure compared to, let's say, something like a JBIMS, which is completely score based. Okay, so The different colleges have different scoring procedures, and you should know which college is having what type of admission criteria. You should have knowledge about this prior to your MBA journey, because people don't apply. They think that they won't get in, but they should have applied and they might have gotten. So they miss out on the opportunities, I feel. So you should have some idea about how the admissions are, and the composite score and so on. You should have some brief idea, I feel. Okay. So that actually concludes my presentation. Nothing more to talk about. Uh, Whoever are the aspirants this year, I feel they will, if they are aware of these colleges, they will have already started to apply and check their websites. Keep checking the websites and keep applying to them, I would say.
Okay, so if anyone have any queries, you can type in the chat box. You can take your time and you can type in the chat box.
Sure. So I think there are some questions I can see on the comment section. Should we take them, Monica?
Yes, sir, we can take them.
So I can see that someone has asked, does having a prior work experience give you an upper hand in MBA program? Do we have same perks as joining as a graduate? So a prior work ex is definitely going to give you additional perks. A 2 year work ex is definitely a very sought after. Anything above one and between 1 to 3 years is a good bracket to be inside. So I would say, because it adds into the composite score thing, and it gives you an upper edge. Okay. Which is the best way for preparing of online or offline coaching or self preparation? I would say, take a if you want to go for a coaching, that is okay. Take an online coaching, because an offline coaching will consume a lot of your time in traveling and all that. Go for an online coaching. When you go for an online coaching, then things will be much easier. Okay, you can prepare at your own pace. There's just one thing: you have to be motivated. You have to be self motivated. Okay, that's the only thing. How much time is required? Someone is asking. It depends, but an average student, I would say, would take around 6 months at least. For me, I had some background writing a lot of exams. I wrote the GRE as well. I wrote GATE exam as well prior to writing CAT. So it took little lesser time for me, because I was used to the reading long paragraphs and so on. Okay. Someone is asking, what are the common pitfalls that aspirants should be aware of, and how can they avoid them? The common pitfall, I would say, is not practicing the mock tests enough. See, when you start writing the mock tests, you will score terrible in the first few. I am telling you that. You will score so bad that you will think that I should leave writing CAT this year and I'll think about it next year. But don't be discouraged. The coaching institutes will make their mock tests a little bit tougher than the actual CAT exam itself. So, and don't take the marks that you get from these mock tests seriously. The marks that you get is not at all important. The only thing that you should be considered about, that if there were like 5 questions that you could do, but you made a silly mistake and you could only do 3 of them or or 4 of them, then why could you not do that one question which you knew but you still got it wrong? That should not happen. That is where you have to perfect yourself. Silly mistakes, or exam anxiety, exam pressure you cannot handle within the time limit, this should not happen. That is what the mock test is for. That it you can tackle the exam fearlessly without any anxiety. So that is the purpose of the mock tests, I feel. Someone is
So, what were
asking,
your thoughts
yeah, yeah, go
while
on,
you
go
were
on.
preparing? While you were preparing for your exam, so what were your thoughts about how I will crack, or about that depression and anxiety all face them before preparing anything for any exam? So, how was
Okay.
your
So my experience with any exam be it CAT. Even before that, I had written GATE as well. And while it might look glamorous from the outside, that you can, yeah, it is so easy, he's cracking all these exams, but you need to
Yes.
understand that you have you there is always a sacrifice for everything. If you are writing an exam, you are definitely not going to your friend's marriage. You are definitely skipping a party that they had asked you to go to. You are breaking some relations, because these are the hard calls that you have to take. Because see, as an adult, we have to take the hard calls, and we have to select our own sacrifices. So obviously now it all looks nice, but you have to do the hard work. There is no other option, and sometimes it can be depressing. Sometimes you will see that you are practicing, but no improvement is happening. That is very normal. That's how things might go sometimes, but you have to
Yes.
sail through the tough times.
Yes. Can you recommend some of the best YouTube channel for preparation of CAT?
So there are some good channels, like Rodha is one channel. There is another channel called Takshila. There is one sir called Chandra sir. He's one of my favorites. He teaches on YouTube. He has his own coaching, online coaching thing as well, where I got some help from. I was his student. So these are some good channels. Even Rodha is really good. Yeah.
Okay. Which specialized MBA courses are available in the pharmaceutical field?
Again, there are some courses like Narsi Monji, NMIMS has its own, I think, pharmaceutical MBA, but I would not recommend that, because see, pharmaceutical MBA, I knew a person who did the pharmaceutical MBA thing from a college. They actually joined my previous company, and they got a project manager type of role. Now, project manager role is not an MBA type of role. Okay, it is anyone with some experience can get into that kind of a role. So you will not get a pure MBA job if you do a pharmaceutical MBA. Better do a general MBA, so that you have the room to move around. You can move around within pharma, outside pharma. You don't want to be restricted. Okay.
Okay. So the next question is which books can we refer during the preparation?
Which books can we refer during preparation? So there can be many books, Arun Sharma and so on. I would not recommend that you uh, go anywhere, like, try to get some good coaching material, I would say, because the coaching center materials, they are well crafted. They take their problems from 4 5 different resources, and then they craft it. If you get it from a particular, like, one book, you take Arun Sharma and solve, you will only be solving that one particular author's problems. If you go for a coaching center, you'll be solving 4 5 authors problems just at once. It is much better that you solve, say, a coaching center material, compared to uh, solving a particular book. But again, if you want to like, practice from that, I would say Arun Sharma, Nishit Sinha book is also there. I would say there is this book. There is one more thing you can do. You can also solve the sectional mock tests of any good coaching institutes. They will have plenty of problems. You can treat it like a book itself. There will be so many problems. So that is another book itself, actually. Like, I took some coaching material book. I don't want to name the coaching or anything, but they had so many problems on their platform that I kept solving, and I never finished all the problems. So that was another book in itself. So it is better that you don't rely on like one book. Go for a coaching institute. Some of them are really cheap, and you can afford it. Like, they're not very expensive, I would say. Okay.
So having more resources is better rather than just relying on one thing.
Yeah, having more resources is not always better, but having the right quality of resource is better. Okay.
Yes.
I think
So
my this thing is glitching a little bit. Just a minute. Yeah, you can ask questions.
yeah. Till which month should we complete our syllabus so that sufficient time would be left for the revision?
Uh, I would say, like, till September you should finish all your syllabus. and October only mock test, mock test, mock test. You should write at least 25 full length tests, I would say, at least close to 25. You should be in a mode where I can like call you at 12 in the night and you will write a mock test for me right there. You should be in that kind of a mode. See, we are competing with 2 lakh people in India. So it is a cutthroat competition. Everybody wants the piece of the cake, and if you want to get it, you have to put in the work.
Okay. So the next question is, which are the specialized MBA courses available for pharmacy students?
Again, don't go for it. Go for a general MBA. My recommendation. Don't go for a pharmaceutical type of MBA. Go for a general MBA which gives you the room to move around.
Okay. So any more questions, guys? Just feel free to ask questions.
I think that is it.
Yes. So before we end the session, what would be your advice or a takeaway message for students aspiring for CAT?
So only have a purpose first of all. See if you want to do an MBA. Don't do it for money or anything. There are other ways to make money. See if you want to learn to be a manager. To you know, what MBA can offer you is a holistic experience, a classroom experience like none other. It is very rigorous. The MBA program. It's not a chill kind of thing. You will probably be going to sleep at 3 at night and waking up at 7 next morning and going for an exam. So, but there are rewards definitely. So think through it. And if you are writing CAT, please understand that it is tough and you have to put in the hard work. Okay. So don't take it casually. Otherwise, you are just wasting your fees for CAT. You're just making the government richer by paying that fees. So
Yes.
don't do that. Take it seriously.
So consistency is the key.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yes. So I don't think that anyone more questions. So we can end the session. Thank you so much
Okay.
for joining, for giving your
Thank you.
precious time. So we can end the meeting.
Sure.
Thank you. It was nice